giving them the faith to stand firmly on your word. We recognize that they have monumental decisions have to be made. Therefore, we're thanking you in advance and granting them strength, courage, and wisdom to make the best decisions for the people of Detroit. Also today is called Freedom Day, where blacks was given the opportunity to vote. We will remember Dr. James Robert Gladden, the first orthopedic surgeon, and we're thankful for how far we've come. So as we continue to move upward, Lord, help us strive for the best for all people of Detroit. Grant our commissioners heart of love, unity, and cooperation, working together for the good of this great city of Detroit. Is any of you who lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives it to all of us generously. James 1:5. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chaplain Madison. And now, if we could have a roll call, please, Madam Secretary.
Through the chair, Commissioner DeWalsh,
Present.
Commissioner Woods,
Present.
Commissioner Bowman. I'm sorry. Commissioner Camille,
Present.
Commissioner Ivy,
Present.
Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Watts,
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Present.
7 present, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda for today, January 22nd?
So moved, Madam Chair.
It's been moved by Commissioner Jones, supported by Commissioner Watts. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. We have minutes from January 15th. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Madam Chair.
It's been moved by Commissioner
Supported.
Jones, supported by Commissioner Woods. Is there any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Madam Secretary, if we could have the introduction of staff, chief of police, and elected officials, and community leaders.
Through the chair, present at this time, Corporation Counsel Conrad Mallett Jr., Janya Underwood, Felicia Tyson, Armani Arnold, Mary Barber, Candace Hayes, Armesia Joshua, Dior Mathis, Chief Investigator Jerome Warfield, Supervising OCI Investigator Hiller. ASL interpreters today are Rick Ainsworth and Stephanie Beatty. Our court reporter, Don Handyside. Audiovisual, Enrique Jackson. Media Services, Charles Henry. Deputy Chief Mark Bliss is here for the Office of Chief of Police. We also have with us Freeja Butler from 2nd Precinct Community Relations, Marie Overall from State Representative Tyrone Carter's office, LaDon Davis, Office of Council Member LaDon Davis, I believe is still on Zoom. Lieutenant Mark Young. I don't see Ron Thomas. Is former Commissioner Davis on Zoom? Yes. Huh? Yes. Former Commissioner William Davis is on Zoom. And those are all that are registered at this time, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. And next, we'll go to the Chief of Police report, Deputy Chief Mark Bliss. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I will start first with the injured officer report. We currently have one police officer that is currently injured in the line of duty. The officer was driving a fully marked scout car and was hit by another motor vehicle. This happened approximately in August 24th in 2025. The officer was conveyed by Medic 6 for injuries to the member's head, neck, and a fractured left ankle. The officer is still off work and is attending physical therapy 3 days a week. Moving on to crime. Our crime stats as of January 21st, 2026. In the category of homicide, our year-to-date is 6. The same time last year, we also had 6. We have a 0% change. For non-fatal shootings, we are currently at 26. For the 2025 year-to-date, we're at 28. We are down 7%. For robberies, for 2026, we're at 51. The year-to-date for 2025 was 52. We are down 2%. For all Part 1 violent crime, our year-to-date is 549. Last year, at the same time, we were at 512. We are up 7%. And then finally, for carjacking, our year-to-date for 2026 is 3. Last year, at the same time, in 2025, we were at 6. We are down 50%. For high-visibility case closures, on Tuesday, January 6, 2026, following an investigation by Detroit Police Homicide, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office charged a man in the fatal shooting of his girlfriend that occurred on August 12, 2025, on Morley Street. Charges in fatal shooting of father. On Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, following an investigation from Detroit Police Homicide, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office charged a 19-year-old female in the fatal shooting of her father that occurred on January 10th, 2026, on Dwyer Street. For these two incidents, we encourage anyone who may have a disagreement or conflict with the family member or loved one to resolve the situation without violence. A gang-related narcotics bust. On Friday, January 16th, 2026, officers from 3 different units conducting a narcotics operation in the 17,000 block of Hull and the 18,000 block of Cardone, where several narcotics and firearms were recovered. Both locations were known to be ran by a gang. 3 felony arrests were made, and the following items were confiscated: 27,629 grams of marijuana, 101 Xanax pills, 350 oxycodone pills, 354 fentanyl pills, 22 bottles of promethazine, 1 mason jar with marijuana wax, $14,825 in cash, 1 handgun, 1 shotgun, and 1 SKS-style rifle. The total street value for the seized items is approximately $172,465. This was shared to the department's social media pages. Illicit drugs confiscated. On Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, Detroit Police Narcotics officers executed a search warrant in the 15,000 block of Stopel. Officers made 1 felony arrest and recovered several items: 18 grams of cocaine, 89.8 grams of fentanyl, 727.2 grams of unknown white powder, forwarded to the lab for testing, $248 in cash, and miscellaneous packaging and processing materials. The total street value of the seized narcotics is approximately $10,420. This was also shared on the department's social media page. Traffic enforcement stats. Last week, the Traffic Enforcement Unit conducted traffic enforcement in the 9th, 10th, and 11th precincts. Officers conducted 220 traffic stops, issued 516 tickets, and issued an additional 57 speeding tickets. Armed robbery arrests. On Sunday, January 18th, 2026, the department shared on our social media page that 3 juveniles were arrested for an armed robbery and a gun was recovered. This happened on December 29th, 2025, in the 10th precinct. Officers worked with the Real-Time Crime Center to locate the vehicle and arrest the suspects, who are now charged in connection with this incident. Community updates. The upcoming All Abilities Fair. On Friday, January 23rd, 2026, the Detroit Police Department will be hosting a fair for community members who are in search of services related to special needs, mental health, physical, and intellectual disabilities. The fair will be held from 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. at the Detroit Public Safety Headquarters Skylar Room. This concludes the Chief's report.
Thank you, DC. Are there any questions for the deputy chief? Any questions or comments? All right,
Madam Chair,
go ahead,
I
Commissioner.
have a couple questions for the chief.
ahead.
Thanks. And thank you, DC Bliss, for sitting in for Chief Edison. So the first one, just to the best of your ability, are you able to, or someone from the chief staff, able to share with the board and the public what CGIS is? And just for education purposes, like who regulates it, who creates it, maintains it, and monitors this compliance standard? Is that possible?
Through the chair. I could give you a brief breakdown. I would recommend that we make a formal report to the board, just because it is comprehensive, and I want to make sure that we answer all the questions that the board is requesting.
Thank you. A brief definition will be fine for now.
Through the chair, so CGIS is the Criminal Justice Information System, and it's a type of system where various personal information, if there's a crime, if the things that a person is charged with, it's in that type of database. And there's certain stipulations in order to be cleared, in order to see sensitive data. And there's a certain vetting process that has to be done in order to be CGIS cleared, so to speak, to see that type of sensitive information.
Thank you, Chief. So it's similar to like the equivalent of HIPAA in the medical space, similar to that?
Through the chair, I would say something definitely similar, but I do have our legal advisor here who can perhaps give some further explanation.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, with your permission, Grant Todd, speaking on behalf of the department. The Criminal Justice Information Security Policy is a policy that was created by the FBI, and it was subsequently adopted by the state of Michigan. And as part of the state of Michigan, we have adopted that policy, and we are beholden to that policy in order for us to get information in the CGIS security, such as law enforcement information, network information. So that information is only available to law enforcement agencies, and if there is a violation in regards to CGIS, then we are liable to the state of Michigan and with the FBI. So it is incumbent upon the Detroit Police Department to ensure that non-law enforcement agencies members do not have access to it.
Yes, thank you. Corporation Counsel Mallett?
Through the chair, Commissioner Camille, I'm everything that the second deputy chief Ha indicated, I agree with 100%. The focus, though, I think of your question has to do with access as it relates to police department personnel. That is also vigorously protected by CGIS. We are in conversation with, and I have sent to the Michigan State Police, who had vetted by the FBI, a monitoring agreement, because we need to be sure that we're in compliance with their rules. But as I pointed out to the Michigan State Police, this body has charter mandated responsibilities to oversee the operation of the City of Detroit Police Department, which you cannot do if you don't have access to that information. This has really become a high point of contention. This body made a decision, Commissioner Camille, I would think Second Deputy Chief Ha, maybe 4 years ago, where we took the office of the chief investigator out of the supervision of the police department. I think that the intent was obviously clear. It seemed to be a conflict of interest for the office of the chief inspector to have a reporting, even dotted line to the police department over which they were supposed to be investigating. But once we broke that chain of supervision, then the Michigan State Police Department became concerned that we were in violation of federal CGIS. We put forward, the second deputy chief and I worked on the agreement. I thought it was eminently reasonable. We were waiting for a meeting to discuss the contents. That never came. The last communication that we had from them was that they rejected the agreement that I put forward. At this point, then, I have a letter into the State Attorney General asking her to set up a meeting so we can have a discussion about the document. It's an important matter that has to be resolved. I think it will be. I don't think that, let me say it this way. I understand the concerns that MSP has as it relates to making sure they maintain compliance with the federal rules as they currently exist. I just think that it's not that we have a way around them. I think that we have a way to comply with them, and we're waiting on them to correspond back to us. That's where we are.
Thank you for
Go
those.
ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you for those updates, all of you, DCs and Corporation Counsel. So my next question, Chief, is around the DDC. So I'm looking forward to getting a tour of the DDC, which the staff is working on arranging. So 2 questions around that. Do you have any updates on the person who passed away in custody that the chief shared with us last week?
Through the chair, at this time, it's my understanding that there was a medical evaluation. I don't have any updates on what possibly could have caused that death, but we are awaiting that report at this time.
Thank you so much. Through the chair, there have been complaints in the past about climate control issues at the DDC. Are you familiar with that? And if you don't have the answer, if you could just get back to us on if those have been resolved and as of when, that will be helpful.
Through the chair, so when you talk about the DDC is basically two facilities. There's the administration building, and you will see this when you go on the tour. And then there's Building 500. And Building 500 is basically where the detainees are held and where they're cared for. They're 2 separate facilities. And the reason why I point that out is that the HVAC systems and the heating and cooling are separate. In Building 500, there is no air conditioning. Therefore, we have fans. That's something that MDOC has always done. And when we took that building over, we took over not having air conditioning in Building 500. When it does get hot, we do make sure that the fans are on, that there is air circulation. We do monitor the temperature. We do make sure that there is fluids available. And that's how we address that type of thing. Building 100 has heat and air conditioning in it. But if you are aware, these buildings they're not the newest buildings. I believe that they were built probably in the 90s. But it was never something in Building 500 that we did when we took over the building to put air conditioning in that building. We just took control over Building 500 in August. So we are, evaluating the facilities as we speak, as we go through it. But it's been something that since we have operated out of 500, when it gets hot, it's hot for everyone. It's hot for the officers, it's hot for the detainees, and we do the best we can with that to make sure that we circulate air and keep everything as cool as possible.
Thank you, Chief. And in the winter, are both buildings able to be kept warm?
Through the chair, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so it's the AC that's the concern?
Yes.
So in the summer, thank you for that. Madam Chair, just 2 more topics, if that's okay.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
So Chief, let's say you have someone that comes to your precinct and they're reporting that they have a family member that's been abducted. They give descriptions of the persons, what they were wearing, the cars they were driving, the license plates, and that those abductors said they were with a law enforcement agency but provided no official documentation to the family members. Would DPD initiate an investigation and put those descriptions on a persons of interest list and actively be looking for those individuals?
Through the chair. So if someone comes in and reports an abduction, of course, we've had cases where people have been abducted and, they've said, part of it was they thought they were the police or they thought they were some type of law enforcement entity. That is all part of the case, but we do process that and investigate it like a crime until further investigation happens and other, things are uncovered. But we do take it as a crime, and we do investigate it, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Chief. And then the last one, so many are aware that I've been advocating for some time for the release of body-worn camera footage in the case when a member of our community is harmed by the police. And oftentimes, the pushback or the delays on that is that there's an open investigation and it's necessary to protect the due process of police officers. So at last week's meeting, the chief and I had a discussion about DPD locking down body-worn camera footage when DPD is conducting an internal affairs investigation and it involves a high-profile person, such as an elected official. So somehow, and I've been watching the media over the last week or so, there are at least 3 different pending investigations for which video has somehow ended up in the hands of the media. So one of them is a criminal investigation that Wayne County prosecutor has indicated they're considering reopening. Another is an internal affairs investigation where OCI was locked out of that footage. And then the other is an open OCI investigation. So can you help us understand who in the department makes a decision to release footage and in what timing?
So through the chair, there's a lot of different layers to that. So the chief of police, internal affairs, they have the right to say, we're going to lock this down in order to properly do the investigation. So in those cases, especially if there could be a criminal element, then of course what you want to do is you want to limit people viewing the body-worn camera video while the investigation's going, because it could be a criminal investigation, it could be an administrative investigation. So each one you're going to have to look at on its own merit, and that's a briefing with senior executives, looking at the body-worn camera. How are you going to go about doing it? If in regards to the OCI, if they uncover criminality, it's then transferred over into internal affairs, because only internal affairs can investigate criminality.
Right, I guess my question is, like, are officers, is there a need to protect officers' due process more so than the general public or elected officials?
Through the chair, there's a need to protect the investigation. And that's what it comes down to, because it's an open investigation. So it's just like if there was a homicide investigation, you want to protect that because it's all evidence. So it can't freely be released.
Thank you. Madam Chair, that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that we had 2 commissioners join us, Commissioner Bowman, Commissioner Morris. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Watts?
Yes, thank you for your report, very good update, this week. I just have an inquiry I received, it's for the same senior. I just want to know, I'll give this information to your staff after the meeting. She's a senior, she has a hardship. Her car was stolen, and then it was impounded and towed. And so one individual told her 1 fee. It looks like she's open to paying the fee, but it seems like she got a different answer for a different fee. And it keeps going up every day, $30. And so she does have a hardship. So I'll just forward it over to you and your team, and you can look into it.
Through the chair, please do, because we do have certain paperwork. If there's a way to
Yes.
to identify that hardship, and
Great.
then there are processes for that, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, through the chair.
Commissioner Woods?
Yeah, through the chair. In the case if the car was stolen, she's a victim of the crime, she don't have to pay, right?
Through the chair, there are certain crimes where they are not charged. But if there is something, if it was a crime and it does fall under that, that is correct. But since I don't know the specifics of the case, I don't want to say for sure, because we know that there have been instances where someone has claimed that it was a crime, and then further investigation, it
But
wasn't.
if it was a crime, and her car was stolen and it was recovered,
Yes,
she don't have to pay, right?
correct, yes.
All right, can you report back that to us?
Yes, as soon as I get,
Okay,
as soon as I get the
yeah.
information, I can do some research into it.
All right, thank you.
I'll forward it right away.
Thank you. Any other commissioners? All right, hearing none. Thank you, DC, for that report. Next, we're going to go to oral communications and public comments. Remember that comments are limited to 2 minutes, and inappropriate language and comments may delay TV broadcasts and video posts. Could we have our first speaker, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Our first speaker will be Minister Eric Blunt, then Mr. Warlow, and then Ms. Williams.
Good afternoon, Board. I'm Minister Eric Blunt from Sacred Heart Catholic Church right here in Detroit. This city is demanding strong leadership from this police department and the city leadership. If you want an example, you have only to look around the block at Sterling Heights. Their mayor, Michael C. Taylor, issued this statement in public. He said he wants his police officers to be specifically advised that people who are not accused of violating laws or are merely passengers stopped in a vehicle, that they have the constitutional right not to hand over their identification. He also says he wants to suspend the partnership Sterling Heights has with federal agencies, such as the FBI. He goes on to say, it is not good enough to me that we would turn over anybody who is not a criminal, who is just peacefully existing here in our city, to those monsters. Those are his words, not mine. Mr. Taylor, or Mayor Taylor, says, I just will not have it. We need that type of leadership. And at least a decision on how DPD and this city is going to stand for or against the forces that are coming up against us. To Commissioner Lavish Williams, your January 8th mention of me, I don't want to be misconstrued. We had conversations about why I thought you should not run for police commissioner. You came to my house with a yard sign. After you told me you would not divest yourself of that towing company, I refused to put your yard sign in front of my house. I said anybody but Linda Bernard, and that's all I said. Please don't think I have endorsed this commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, commissioners, and thank you for the time to hear me today. My name is Deontay Warlow. I'm here with humility and respect. And one thing, a chance. I understand that I was permanently disqualified from becoming a Detroit police officer. And thank you. And I'm not here to deny the decision or dismiss the standards of the department. I know those standards exist to protect the integrity and the badge and the safety of the city. I respect that fully. What I'm asking today is to consider the person that I am now, and not just the moment or the circumstance that led to my disqualification. I'm a lifelong Detroiter. I care deeply about the city, its neighborhoods, and its people. My desire to serve as a police officer does not come from prestige or authority. It comes from wanting to protect, serve, and be a positive presence in a city that deserves officers who truly care. Since my disqualification, I have taken the time to reflect, grow, and hold myself accountable. I have worked to better myself mentally, emotionally, and professionally. I've learned the importance of judgment, discipline, and responsibility, qualities that are essential for law enforcement. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm asking for consideration. I'm asking for the opportunity to prove that I can meet those standards. Uphold the values and honor the badge of Detroit Police Department. If given another chance, I would approach this career with gratitude, integrity, and deep sense of responsibility, not only to the department, but to every citizen I would serve. Thank you for the time, for your leadership, and considering my requests. I hope you allow me the opportunity to prove that I'm worthy of serving the city of Detroit.
Through the chair.
Thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Do we have an appeal on on file for this gentleman?
I can't say 100%. Through the chair, Vice Chair Woods, I will have Ms. Tyson take his name and his information, please, Felicia, to understand.
Okay.
If he has appealed with the BOPC, it would be in process.
Okay.
As you know, the process goes to the department and then to us afterwards.
Okay.
So we'll check on the status of it.
All right,
If
thank
he has sent a formal appeal.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, he's here. Let's just ask him, please. Have you appealed to the department other than coming before the BOPC?
I have appealed to the chief, not to Board of Commissioners.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Director
Thank you.
Patillo.
The Director of Personnel will.
Through the chair, Katrina Patillo, Director of Police Personnel. So we will take a look at that. If I have it, we will respond, and that response will be investigated. The appeal will be investigated, and then it goes up to the Chief of Police, and I can let you know if it's in process.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Ms. Williams? Please, everyone state your name for the record.
Let me move over because I want you guys to see very clear. Hello, my name is Sharnita Williams. It's been 2 years since I was raped. I asked Chief Warfield to contact Detective Carwell in sex crime to get the photo. He is on the Detroit Police Department with a fake name. So how was it possible that an ex-kingpin got on the Detroit Police Department? He's deceased now, Butch Jones. I'm quite sure the DEA, the FBI, and Kim Worthy is fully aware of who he is. He looked totally different. So you sit up and tell me every time I come in here, you all do not have ex-offenders on the Detroit Police Department. The Detroit Police Department are lying because they paid $5 million for facial recognition. Butch Jones was in a wheelchair. He was getting dialysis 3 times a week, had a kidney disease. So he looked totally different than he did when he was out here in the streets. My point is, it's not acceptable when you have an ex-kingpin on the Detroit Police Department. Clearly, that's not acceptable when he was a killer and sold drugs in the city. My life has been in danger because I'm speaking on all this illegal corruption, just like Cheryl Hall, Chauncey, LaShonda Houston at 3426 Mack Avenue. Chauncey worked there. Cheryl and LaShonda Houston stayed at this shelter. These officers threatened my life, but they still on the Detroit Police Department. So everything that you all say every week, it's a bunch of garbage, because none of this could be going on if the people was in charge allowed this to take place. That's the bottom line. It's no excuse for this. The Detroit Police Department will be, you're not gonna act like this not going on. And like I said, I got all kind of nuts coming at me, breaking inside my apartment, and I'm not on any type of medication. Ex-offenders stay at 628 Delaware that's on the Detroit Police Department, breaking inside my apartment, messing with my weapons and my bullets, and all my stuff is in my biological name, no fake name. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Lieutenant Mark Young, and then Claude Norwood. Then we'll go into Zoom.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Mark Young, proud member of the Detroit Police Department. When I was a kid, I was the smallest of those who I hung out with. I was the smallest, but I was never afraid. I have never taken anything from anyone. Never have and never will, nor will I ever. I love this city more than anybody with all my heart. I love here and I live here, and I almost gave my life here. Because I took a stand, a former commissioner, in concert with others, tried to intimidate me through threats and using others to try to influence them with lies and falsehoods. Shame on that individual. It's deeper than that. I am not afraid, nor am I a punk. My law enforcement colleagues called me overwhelmingly between the texts, the emails, and the phone calls. I was humbled by all these people that stepped up on my behalf. If you got something, bring it. Bring it. I got receipts for who I am or what I've done, and I care about the city. If you got something, bring it. This is not the end. You should be ashamed of yourself. I am the youngest of the individuals that's making accusations that used to sit on this very board. But I'm more mature than they are. That is deplorable. I chose to take a stand because that's what I believe. I feel it's right for the men and women I represent. I have a duty of honor, integrity, and character and courage. If you disagree with me, that's one thing. But to put falsehoods out there to try to coerce others, to intimidate me, or to harm me, that is criminal, and this is not the end.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Madam Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner?
Yeah, I actually was wondering regarding the previous speaker, if she had a complaint on file that's being investigated by the Office of the Chief Investigator.
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, listen, you late to the party. I've been speaking, I've been making complaints to the chief investigating officer.
Come on, Doc, you better lie to
and
these
Internal Affairs
people.
for a long time. Everything that I'm saying is on record. Everything I say is 100. It's against the law to make a fake report. Internal Affairs. So when she became the chair, she was like, well, who's are these officers? When Darrell Woods did not give Lieutenant Lockhart that resolution because he recorded the fact saying that Cheryl Hall's been on the force over 15 years. This is the same woman that threatened my life. LaShonda Houston. So you telling me, absolutely, to answer your question, all this on record.
Thank you.
But like Mr. Andrew said, oh, Ms. Williams, if it ain't tangible, don't worry. But see, these the same officers that came to get their weapons, and the chief had to come get them. So ask me which chief. Make it make sense.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good evening, BOC,
Good evening.
BOPC, Council, and the Police Department, as well as the City of Detroit. My name is Claude Norwood. I'm here representing the Grand River Community Block Club, the founder of which is Victoria Camille since 2020. And I'm also the newly elected official for the CAC District 7. And I just want to briefly introduce myself and to let you know the endeavors that we're trying to do to ease the tensions for everybody. We know that there's a difficult challenge here that's going on throughout the city of Detroit. Our constituents have done the math on this, and based off of that, out of 500,000 registered voters in the city of Detroit, only 100,000 turned out, which is a significant amount of people that's registered voters but did not turn out for whatever reasons. They're disengaged, don't believe the police, the city, or anybody's going to do anything about the issues that's going on. And them same numbers represent the 20% of children that's not engaged in school. They both work hand in hand. The numbers don't lie. And we agree and we understand that we all have a difficult challenge. But as a representative for CAC, we're here to make a change. And we want to assist you as best we can. And one of the initiatives that we're going to launch at CAC District 7 is we're going to work from one end of District 7 to the other end of District 7. And then we want to encourage and get the other CACs 1, 2, 3, and 6 up and running as well, because part of that 400,000 people that did not come to vote, they're in those districts that's not operational. So it's essential that we get those other districts up and running so we all can work together in collaboration to reduce this violence for the police, the people that's getting killed unnecessarily, and work together to move the city of Detroit forward.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll go into Zoom. Our first speaker will be caller with the last three digits, 482. Can you unmute caller 482? We'll go to the next caller with the last three digits, 039. We'll go to former Commissioner William Dave. Okay.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
Can I
please.
be heard?
Go ahead.
Hey, first off, I'd like to call for a moment of silence for legendary Detroiters, Milton D. Jones, a.k.a. Butch Jones, b.k.a. Butch.
Ruben, your time is passing.
I know I asked for a moment of silence. Why is your mouth open? Now, Butch is someone I knew. I'm young blood from the Booster Project. Met Butch at the age of 12. He did what he did. Now I'm about to do what I'm about to do. Conrad Mallett.
I'm right here.
Gerald Wood.
Yes, sir.
And all the elected officials on the city of Detroit Board of Police Commissioners. Y'all cheated in. And the appointed ones was appointed by a cheated in mayor. I ain't lying about sugar, honey, iced tea. I know what I'm talking about. Janice Winfrey been cheating the elections in Detroit, Michigan for over a decade, and I gave the information to number 47. I did it. Now, Nene want what she want. Y'all didn't want to give it to her, so that's why I took it and gave it to her myself. So she know the truth about the murder of Kanisha Coleman, DPD case 20.
We'll move on to former Commissioner William Davis.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard?
Yes, you may.
Well, perhaps I should also let the public know about MCOs and what they require in a presentation. I think that we need to make sure that this board remember its original function and its charter function is to make sure that they're there to represent the public against inappropriate actions by some officers. Most officers are good and do their work, but there's a small group of them that are not good and is not doing their work. You know, there should be greater effort to make sure that the bad officers are not so easily promoted, are not so easily forgiven for stuff that they shouldn't do. Also, as a City of Detroit retiree, president of a retirement group, you know, I think it would be much better if y'all could do more about trying to reduce the number of lawsuits. You know, we should not be paying for people that's blatantly violating rules, policies, and procedures. Also, I think the board would be much better off if you had your own attorney, not an attorney from the city or the corporation council. You know, I think there's still a lot of questionable stuff going on, but the main function of this board should always continue to be to represent the public and make sure that bad cops, are not active. And don't get me wrong, I'm very supportive of law enforcement. My degrees are in law enforcement and criminal justice administration. But this board can do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Our next speaker will be Sandra Turner Handy.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I am calling. My first two questions are: one, what is the training and guidance that new Board of Police Commissioners go through that lets them understand what their roles and responsibilities are as a commissioner? My second question is, what is the practice if a standing commissioner steps down during their term? How is that seat filled? I say this because as a member over in the 9th Precinct, we have worked diligently in bridging the gap with our police department. We work alongside of them, and our community members are committed and invested in this community and creating a clean, safe, and healthy community, and we are well on our way to accomplishing that. To bring chaos into our community is not good. It's not good when we have community members calling, asking what's going on. Why is our community being attacked? We need to understand that the role of the police commissioners is to carry the voice of the people in their area and carry their issues and concerns that they are having with the police department up the chain in order to help resolve these issues, not create their own personal issues that become a reflection on the great work that our residents have been able to do in a zip code in an area that was considered the most violent area in the city. Thank you, guys, and I hope you can answer those questions.
Thank you. Yes, just very quickly, our Board of Police Commissioners do go through an orientation training once they are elected or appointed with the secretary. The secretary may be able to elaborate a little on what is covered, but after they meet with the secretary, they also go through an orientation with our Office of the Chief Investigator so that they become familiar with what our role is in terms of investigating citizens' complaints. Just very quickly, Secretary, if you could.
Through the chair, Madam Chair, you are correct. Immediately after confirmation of the newly elected board members, and as board members have come onto the board since my tenure, as with Commissioner Jones, there was orientation, not only with the administrative, if I may, side of the house, but also OCI. Chief Investigator Warfield and I worked together to coordinate that. We also are presently in the process for both Commissioner Jones and I believe it was, help me with the date, the first Friday in January? I believe. Right, it was right after Christmas. So I'm sorry about the exact date. And we are in the process, Chief Warfield and myself, he's done yet another orientation as it pertains to reviewing of cases, et cetera. Not speaking for you, Chief, but we together are collaborating now with both staffs to arrange for, and we will be sending out a save the date by Monday noon as soon as we have a facility, a place acquired for a much broader orientation with the parliamentarian, Office of Ethics, and some other city departments to more broadly orientate our bosses.
Thank you. Commissioner Warfield, just one quick, I'm sorry, OCI Chief. Did you want to add to that? Yeah.
Through the chair, certainly want to echo the words of Madam Secretary. We met with all of the new commissioners right after Christmas, and then we All of the new commissioners also came to the Office of the Chief Investigator according to their schedules, and we did an orientation as relates to what we do at the Office of the Chief Investigator. We went over case notes. We also went over the history of the Office of the Chief Investigator, some of the investigations that were done in the past, and there will always be ongoing training as relates to the commissioners getting cases where they have questions. They can always contact me, and certainly we have been a good resource, we believe, to walk them through this process, because it is a very involved process. So that process continues, but we have done the initial orientation, and there is more to come, as the Secretary said.
Thank you. Commissioner Bowman?
Yeah, I want you just to answer the last part of the question involved filling of vacancies. And I do know we have one at-large vacancy, I believe, right now, yeah, unless that's been filled, which it hasn't. So the process, though, in elected vacancies is, the vacancy may occur at any time during someone's term if they leave office, is that the mayor appoints someone to fill the vacancy, but that does not go all the way through the term. Rather, at the next election, there is a special election included with the next scheduled election for that particular office, and so that midterm voters would have a chance then to elect a commissioner to replace the appointee.
Commissioner Woods?
Yeah, and through the chair, I get the spirit of the comment and the question, and I just strongly urge everyone in the community, to be a little bit patient, as this is a learning curve. It's a lot of weighty decisions that has to be made as it relates to commissioners, and so pray for us. We're never going to be perfect, but we're trying our best, as a body to learn and to grow and to develop, so this is not a time for us to turn on each other. It's a time for us to turn to each other so that we can better serve the citizens of the city of Detroit. And so I'm very, very prayerful for a little patience, as we continue to develop in these roles.
Any other comments?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Camille.
In regards, I believe Madam Secretary was referring to the upcoming annual training that we'll all get. That's a date is being vetted.
Right.
Is that what you're referring to, Madam Secretary?
Through the chair, Commissioner Camille, yes and no. It is to what we would have hoped to have pulled together, but because we were in a waiting period for confirmation from city clerk, et cetera, and because we pretty much ran out of time, and that's why we did what we did, Chief Investigator and myself, at the beginning of January, together with, we've made ourselves available, hopefully 24/7, to answer any specific questions as we issued out, what typically happens, et cetera. This initial one that we're looking at in February, and I may as well spill the date, February 20th, we are tentatively looking at to do, with the concurrence of Madam Chair, to go forth with not the full-blown, quote-unquote, annual training, but a little more in-depth of things that we would have hoped to cover, had covered in January with corporate counsel, ethics, OIG, and some other, if I may, KMAC offices. And then again, after that, the board itself may want to, give feedback on what's next, and then we'll hopefully have a more in-depth detail after that. So that's why I said yes and no. Does that answer the whole?
It does. Thank you for clarifying that, Madam Secretary. So what I would recommend that we do as a body, since the Secretary at some point will be planning an annual training for us to make sure that training meets the needs of the board, is to do some reflection about the advancement of oversight that's before us and what questions, whether it's around responsibilities, structure, barriers, any type of questions that we have to get to the Secretary in advance so that she can start to vet the appropriate experts to get before us for training so that we make the most of that annual training when it comes up in several months, I would expect.
Yes, Commissioner Camille. A great idea, and I believe we do that this training you're talking about is a retreat that we have annually that we try to have with the commission, and the commissioners are surveyed before, so that would happen.
Madam Chair, and to Commissioner Camille, you're correct to get that feedback. And Commissioner Camille and I have had some preliminary discussions about pushing out a quote-unquote survey. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Next speaker.
Our next speaker will be Ms. Tara Brown.
Madam Chair, while we're waiting for the next speaker on that last point, when we're making sure that we're having conversations, something like this for all the board members, just make sure all the board members are inclusive of that conversation.
Absolutely.
Can you unmute Ms. Brown?
Next speaker, please unmute.
Mr. Smith?
Hello, may I be heard?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so sad I'm not there in person. How are you, Conrad? How are you, Dare Woods? You guys all right?
Can you
no response.
Speak through the chair, please?
Through the chair, Conrad Mallet, Dare Woods. Are you guys all right? No response to me, so I'm gonna play a little audio.
Who the money is coming from, because all money is not good to me. Certain people, I wouldn't accept. Oh yeah, no. I wouldn't ask you. No, man. I mean, the bottom line is that there are jobs that come up in the city of Detroit all day long. Man, that it's starting out. Don't pay very much money, $35,000 per flat. It's got health care. It's got a pension associated with it. And, it's your spare time. You've got to be very careful not to be involved in electronic politics.
I'm gonna cut it off there, Conrad. You're on the clock. You have an appointment 11 a.m. tomorrow for your reappointment. I'm gonna organize as many people as I can across the great city of Detroit, Michigan, to oppose your reinstatement as corporation counsel for the city of Detroit. And so that's why I was so flaming hot last week about that $80,000 for 25 hours. I was offered $35,000. I said $37,000 in order to work for 40 hours versus a person who doesn't even have a master's degree, who doesn't have any police officer training or anything like that, any reputable training for the position, and there was no job description given. Also, to Miss Sandra, wherever you are in District 3, my name is Jadante Smith, Block Club Vice President for Helen Street Block Club over in D5, and a lot of the commissioners who have been there don't know what they're doing. And I don't know who paid you in the 9th precinct to come and try to exert your will, but you need to fix your blocks over there. That's what you need to worry about, fixing your blocks. Don't worry about what's going on at the BOPC, because you don't come to these meetings. You don't know what the hard officers are doing. And also, I have a Google Drive working information against Lieutenant Brandon Cole. I'm going to file a complaint. He's been harassing me online through his friends all across the country.
Next speaker.
A speaker by the name Abel. Can you unmute?
May I speak?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I am here specifically regarding my business. I am at 10820 Whittier Street, Legacy Hall, and what I have experienced as of late is a lot of police involvement and harassment that I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. My building was just shut down and they slapped a red sticker on my door and they claimed that I am in violation. Prior to their arrival, I had already had called the city for an inspection and the fire department, and they came out and gave those to me and showed me what it was that needed to be done. And those processes were taking place, and I'm down to about the last 4 or 5 things, and those things are only not done due to the workload being from the holiday. The police came in and they said that the problem was that I did not have a compliance sticker, and as I explained, I'm in the process of getting that, because when I originally bought the building, it was already open before the whole process even began. And what I'm experiencing now is a report from the city explaining to me that my building is closed because I sold illegal alcohol. Yet I was not written a ticket for that very thing. So I would like some help, if any could be provided, as to why I am experiencing such negativity from the police, yet in my community, I give out turkeys, I give out backpacks to kids, I help with the homeless, I do community cleanups, and I provide a solid service to the community, not to mention jobs for anybody that walks past my building. So I'm really here to just ask for some help and some clarification as to why I'm experiencing this, and any help that you can give would be greatly appreciated. I'm in District 4.
Chief, is there
Thank you.
one that we can refer him to?
Through the chair, if I could get the address again, we can do some investigation and see what the individual is being.
Okay, could you put him back on so we can get his or do you have his address?
I don't have that caller's address, but that caller can call oh, you wrote it down, sir?
Okay.
Yeah, but
Commissioner
if you can get
Woods.
them connected, that'd be good.
Yes.
I was going to ask him to give the board a call and give his information. That way we could follow up with him if he's
That
still on the
sounds-
call. Our number is 313-596-1830, 313-596-1830. That's for guest Abel.
Thank you, DC.
Our next caller is Shia Howell.
Shay.
Shay, thank you. Shay Howell.
Yes, thank you. I want to welcome all of the new commissioners to the board, and I want to echo the comments made earlier by Minister Blount about the deep concern in our community about lawless behavior from federal law enforcement officers. The kind of work that the BOPC has done over decades is being unraveled right in front of us. And we need to know how the BOPC is going to address this lawless behavior. And we are especially concerned that there are now many instances of DPD personnel assisting ICE in their efforts to disrupt and destroy the lives of citizens in our community. So one of the most important things for us to do is think about stopping any cooperation with ICE by our own city police department. And I'm especially concerned about the use of language as a way to invite in federal officials to be able to apprehend other people. The policy of the BOPC should be to encourage the use of translators, not people who are part of the federal government and who are going to use the excuse of translation to apprehend people. So I think it would be helpful if the BOPC would get some sense of how often Detroit police officers are calling on immigration officials as translators and then using that as a ruse to apprehend people who are in here living peaceful lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we have two more guests. Our next speaker will be Juanita. If I mispronounce your name, please state your name for the record.
Joanna. Could you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm Joanna from the 7th District. I believe the second precinct. I still wanted to know if Ms. Camille was my commissioner over the 2nd precinct. I didn't get the information back on that. I also wanted to, I'm through off because of all the comments. I'll bring my concerns back next week. But however, I just want to tell y'all commissioners, all of y'all, to keep y'all heads up. I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the fight. I know we're going to make a difference if we all come together. Let's not get unfocused and going against one another. Let's come together. The only way we're going to come together, the only way we're going to get it done if we come together. I do not like how the officer got up there. I think he was a lieutenant. I'm not sure, hollering, bring it on, bring it on. We don't need that type of energy. Like, we still watching you, we're still watching. We don't need the aggression. We need love, compassionate, not the, what is it, honey? The verbal threat. I took it as a threat. Bring it on, bring it on. No, we need to bring on our boots, tie them up, and do the right thing with helping the community, helping the elders, helping the children. Whoever leaked that video of that commissioner all over the news came from the police station. That's not coming together. Grab that young man and show him which way to go, how to do it. Let that man be great and help us. All the negative things came out about the commissioner. Nothing positive came out about him helping kids. He do a lot of good things, and he's not my commissioner. I guess y'all all are, but.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank Ms. Oliver for continuing to show up to the meetings and provide comment. Thank you for your outreaches to me. So her block club, and thank you for starting your block club and serving your community, because we need people like you. Her block club is in this little area that got affected by the boundary changes between 7, 1, and 2. So we currently have an inquiry into the staff to confirm exactly which district you're in, and so we'll be getting back to you on that, and I will still be in touch with you regardless if I'm your commissioner or not, because we have some things to catch up on. So appreciate your continued engagement. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Gwendolyn Gibson, and after Ms. Gibson, we're going to go back for Ms. Tara Brown.
May I be heard?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I am back again. I was here last week as well, and I do appreciate you all's time and just having me. So yeah, I am back just to make another grievance about what happened to my son and I April 25th of 2025. When my door was kicked in, I was never served a warrant. My son was falsely arrested and falsely charged. And I was arrested. I thought I was going to die that day. Lieutenant Barr, he pushed my face so far into the gurney, I couldn't breathe. I really thought I was going to be another victim. All the victims flashed before my eyes. That's been across social media over the last decade or so, from police brutality ordeals like what I had. And it was just horrible. It was horrible, and then we had to fight the case. And I'm so grateful that a jury of our peers really saw through all of the lies. And, my son was found not guilty on all charges. And these officers really do need to be held accountable. Lieutenant Tim Barr, Officer Kevin Bryant, and also Officer Abdullah Nassar, because he also lied on the stand multiple times about the entire situation. And I would just love for you all to get the body cam. It is going to be a few hours long because they did held us hostage, in our house for hours. But I do want you all to get the body cam just so that you can also take a look at it as the jury did. So that way you can see, what happened and how they violated our rights. And this did happen in District 7. Thank you all for your time.
Can you keep her there?
Thank you.
Don't hang up, ma'am.
Do we have that investigated?
Yes, it's currently assigned to one of our investigators, Investigator Reynolds, and she has reached out and made contact with Ms. Gibson. And she also left a message with them. We sent a letter out back in I think it was June the 25th, if I'm not mistaken, but we also reached out to her recently since the last meeting when she came in and appeared.
Okay, can you give the board an update as to the status?
It's still under investigation. The
okay.
status is it's still under investigation.
Okay, thank you.
Our next speaker, please.
I'm going to try back for Ms. Tara Brown.
Thank you. Thank you for circling back. I was having a technical issue. Good evening, council. My name is Tara Brown. I sent an email to Starks, Grant High, and I believe Conrad Mallett, requesting someone from the unhoused response team for the Detroit Police to get back to me because I serve on the Michigan Homeless Policy Council at the state level, and I wanted them to come give a presentation about what they do. Our homeless system here in Detroit is in a shambles. It's awful. One of the only good things that I have heard, surprisingly, was how nice the Detroit police have been to people when they've picked them up out of the cold, picked them up from one homeless shelter and toted them to another after they've been removed for altercations, removed because there's not enough room. We are one of the only cities that has a homeless response team that goes out and serves our homeless on the police department. And I wanted to highlight that because of all the awful things in the homeless system that are often highlighted, and not one of you three got back with me. That's my first issue. My second issue, the comments made by the gentleman, Mark, that was up there before, I want y'all to know that's the kind of energy people are being met with in the street. This is a professional meeting, and because people are mad that things don't go their way, they come to this meeting and they show us what happens to people in the street. There are people being stopped and frisked at these gas stations, and although I was one of the people that was like, well, maybe that's not what's happening, I've seen it. I tell my son, don't go to the gas station after 6 o'clock or after it gets dark, because they are stopping and frisking people, and it's in all districts. It's not just relegated to one. One may be more than the other. I also want to say, Commissioner Morris, I'm glad to see you're back there. I'm glad to see most of y'all back here. This is what is called a diverse police commission, and we need to stop playing like Detroit has a standard. We have somebody convicted of something at every level of city operations. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Mia?
Hello, yes, may I be heard?
Yes, you may.
All right, yes, I came in a little late, so I'm not totally for sure what the topic was just of now, but I do want to say that I voted for Commissioner Morris, and I'm so glad that he's a part of District 3. We need someone who's passionate for our neighborhood. District 3 has not been invested in. Things has been neglected. There's so many things in District 3 that has gone on that we cannot allow Mr. Morris to fall by the wayside. He's somebody that we need, and I hope that he continues his work here.
Thank you. Next speaker.
That is your last speaker.
Okay. Next, we have presentations to the board, and we're going to start with DPD budget report from July through September 2025, and we're going to have Mr. Nazarko give the presentation. Thank you for coming back. I'm sorry we did not get to you last meeting. Thank you so much.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Just want to
Commissioner
acknowledge
Watts.
we've been joined by Councilwoman Miller.
Yes.
Oh, yes. How are you? Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, honorable commissioners. I'm here to present the financial information for the DPD for the first quarter of fiscal year ending on September 30th, 2025. This information is a little bit late. Next month we are going to have information on the second quarter ending on December 31st. So the information presented to you today, I assume someone is going to put the slides on the board, or you want me to go over my printout?
Do we have the slides?
Madam Chair, we're going to be checking right now.
I can go off my...
It should be up.
Okay.
Sure, there we go.
Oh, thank you.
Good?
Yes. Next slide, please. Reports in front of you today are the first quarter, as I said, budget versus actual revenues and expenditures. General fund quarter one year-to-date budget and actual revenues versus expenses. the vehicle purchase report, capital expenditure report, and grant activity report.
Mr. Nazarko, can we ask questions as you go along?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
It's up to the
Just
chair.
very quickly, I do have questions on the three items that have the greatest variance. Just wanting to know if you could give us an idea of why that is occurring. The special revenue fund, a variance of 57%, starting there, and then the forfeiture fund and the special revenue fund.
Yes. Through the chair, that's this slide that you see there, the third line. There are two parts. The top part is the revenues, and the second, the bottom part are the expenditure. The special revenue fund, the number 39221, is comprised of two funds. It is comprised of the towing fund and is comprised of the communications fund, the 911 revenue. Those funds, the revenue on the 911 fund is a little bit cyclical because we receive the revenues from the state of Michigan through Wayne County. And Commander Russell and myself work closely to make sure to timely receive the revenues. However, that's not always the case because Wayne County does some reconciliation. They distribute that money to various communities, including us. And we have not been successful in the first quarter, at least. The report that I have been already compiled for the second quarter shows a slightly different picture for sure. So in the first quarter, all this tells you is that we're expected to receive $2.5 million, and we received 1.1. So again, timing, because the first quarter is usually on the slow pace to receive the revenues from Wayne County. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. The second question was probably about the same thing, the special revenue fund expenditures. We had budgeted $8.1 million on the special, but that's the entire year. If you, the one you see that $8.1 million, and we spent only $2.3 million. So again, that because the grant funds are included in that line item, it depends on how we spend the grants and how quickly we get the reimbursement. So therefore, it's only a timing. As I move through the fiscal year on these reports, you're going to see that we'll catch up, and we expect to realize 100% of both revenues and expenditures, or as close as possible to that number.
Okay, so then help me understand. We're looking at the first column is for the total year. It says quarter one at the top. That's why I was confused.
Yes, and the only one that represents the entire year is the last number there that you see, $8.1 million. That's incorrect number. But
Okay.
Good catch, Madam
So we're
Chair.
comparing quarter one year-to-date actual with the annual budget amount.
Next slide will be the annual. This slide compares quarter one budget versus quarter one expenditures. So in other words, very close to 25% of the entire year. It's in the first 3 months.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next slide, please. This slide shows the revenues that police department is receiving from various sources. And as we mentioned earlier, the first quarter expected revenues are on the first column, and the annual budget here is on the second column. So the third one, the percentage, shows that the percentage of the first quarter actuals versus the entire year's budget. So if you see municipal income tax, as you know, the one source of revenue for DPD is the municipal income tax that Detroit collects. We received 22.2% of the annual budgeted amount of $38.5 million. In other words, we are very close to the target of 25%. However, again, this is another type of revenue that is cyclical, and most of the revenues comes from January to the end of April. So we still did really good, receiving 22.5% in the first quarter. The utility user tax, as you see, is 20%. That's a revenue that depends on the collections from utilities in the city of Detroit. and it depends on the usage. So we expect to receive $37 million for the entire year. We received only 7.6. However, past experience has been that we have received close to 100%, and sometimes, depending on the weather, too hot or too cold, we received the budget amount. And the third one is other revenue, and then there are other items that go into that line item. We expect to receive $10 million. However, we received only $1 million on that line item.
Okay, any questions? I do have one real quick one.
Yes.
As it relates to operating services and capital equipment and outlay, those also have large variances. And I'm wondering, is there a reason? I mean, is it also cyclical? Are all of these going to be as a result of timing? Or do we have plans to achieve those budget goals amounts?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We definitely have plans to achieve the budgeted goals. However, the capital equipment and outlay is cyclical because it depends. Let's say that we are going to purchase a tow truck, and there's $150,000 worth. That's the whole year's budget. However, if we purchase that, which it looks like, in the first quarter we did, that means that that's charged against the first quarter, so it's not going to be a recurring expenditure.
Okay.
Other than that, most of the items are on budget and on time, with the exception of revenues, as I said earlier, from the 911 communications.
Okay, thank you.
On the following 2-3 slides, there is detailed information on the revenues and expenditures for the first quarter. So in other words, the sales and charge for service revenue is split into other reimbursements, other fees, personal services, and other department sales. So all those roll up to the other charges and services. But the same thing on the following slide, for example, when you see the line employee benefits, and that is the details of that are pension benefits, hospitalization, FICA expense, workers' comp, sick leave, longevity, and so on and so forth. So unless the honorable commissioners have any questions on that, I'm not going to go over. There are too many details.
I just want to make a comment with the questions that I just had. This chart actually breaks it down, so it shows me under, for instance, capital equipment and capital outlays. So if anybody wanted to follow that, go ahead, Commissioner Woods.
Yeah, is there anything in the works as it relates to capital improvement at the DDC as it relates to the air conditioning?
This report does not have any information on that. The budget that we have put forward for the 2027 fiscal year may have a request as such, but on this report and this year, we have not budgeted any capital expenditures for DDC.
Yeah, because I think it's vitally important that people have air in there.
If I could just make a note, if you go to page 9 at the top, the third line talks about the building 500 that DC just spoke about. There's only $1,000.
Right, and that is not the air improvement. No, this is regular maintenance.
Yeah.
I think that our values reflect that when it's 100 degrees and get 100 degrees in a cell, that they should have some air.
I have a question. So the DDC Building 100 has a budget of almost $15,000. Is there any way that those two line items could be rearranged, or not rearranged, but take some of that money and put it in for the air conditioning?
Actually, Madam Chair, this amount here, almost $15,000, represents the actual expenditures the first 3 months. We already spent that. However, we are working closely with the Chief's Office and DC Bliss, for sure, to find and allocate money. As you know, this is the first year that DPD took over the operations of DDC, and there are many things that were not known at the budget time. Therefore, we kind of like trying to figure it out and fund it as we go, at least for the time being, and then later on we
I guess what I'm hearing from Commissioner Woods is, and some of the other commissioners who are also concerned, is that we pay some special attention to the Building 500, where we have our
Detainees.
prisoners or people, detainees, yes. So
I'll defer to
please
the
express
city
that, or, maybe we need to ask the DC to express that concern to the chief. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes, go ahead,
I have a
Commissioner Ivey.
question. Did you say that this money here for Building 100 was already money that's spent or money that's been asked?
This money has already been spent, almost $15,000.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Continue.
So past capital improvements, the other slide also has capital improvements at various locations at DPD buildings, precincts, and whatnot.
Through the chair, before we move off of capital improvements, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Lies. So, Mr. Nazarko, there are several charges for like $1 and $2, $3, and I think I know what capital improvements are. What are these real expenditures for these small amounts?
That's a great question. I didn't see that or think of that this way until now. But what those $1 amounts represent, and even the $2 or $5, represents a placeholder for an upcoming expenditure. So when we do a requisition in our system and we do not have the good estimate or the full amount that we expect to spend, then we have to put a requisition, so we go out for bids as to placeholder. Later on, as we spend and as we develop the projects, then those requisitions will become the actual amounts.
Okay, thank you so much. And then another question on this same slide. There's an expenditure in July for $703.56 for the DPD gun range. Is that the range in Rouge Park?
I'd say so.
Yes.
That's the only gun range that I'm aware of.
It is, okay. And this might be more of a question for the chief. So there have been concerns from residents and environmental advocates about the noise. Is it just the indoor range now? The DPD is not setting off or testing bombs or anything in that space anymore, right?
Through the chair, the qualification range over there at Rouge Park it's an outdoor range. We don't technically have an indoor range. We do have one it's an indoor range, but it's not an open range where people can utilize it, and that's at the 4th precinct. So that's strictly for testing firearms and things like that in the 4th. But our qualification range, our training range is all at Rouge Park.
Okay, so that's an outdoor range?
Yes, it is.
And the bomb testing is not happening anymore, right?
Through the chair, I'm not aware of any bomb testing at Rouge Park at all.
There was some type of, and I might be using the wrong term, some type of explosives at some point. If we could just check, and if that has ceased, if we can get a date of when that has stopped, because there were advocates pushing for that before.
I don't believe it was any bombs whatsoever. I'm not familiar with ever having any type of explosives at Rouge Park.
There were some, I agree with Commissioner Camille, there were at some point that they were doing some type of explosions over there. I don't know if it was you guys, but it was in that range area.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Chief. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes. Go ahead,
Next
Mr.
slide, please.
Nazarko.
This slide shows the active grants that we utilized during the months from July to the end of September. And on this list, there are eight grants. Doesn't mean that the city, the DPD only received or is working on 8 grants. These were the ones that were active during the quarter. As you can see from this paper, the largest one is ATPA grant in the amount of almost $4 million. And the ceasefire earmark grant for $715,000. And you can see the other grants as JAG, VOCA, MCOLS, and the Crime Gun Intelligence Center. So this is the last slide that I have before my question slide.
Mr. Nazarko, with regard to the amount of awards that we've received, is it about 8.5 million or 9 million total?
That's approximately around $8 million
Okay.
that in any given year, yes.
Okay, how does that compare with last year?
Slightly, remember we're talking about the budget for 2026 that was put together at the end of, beginning of 2025, but end of 2024 really. And based on the information we had at that time, this is the amount, is slightly higher, I would say, a few $100,000.
Okay.
But it's not down, no.
Okay, so it is higher, we're going.
A little bit higher, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Expected, but grants are always varying up and down
Right.
depending on the many factors.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, next, you
Madam
have
Chair.
another slide you said?
No, this is the last slide I have.
All right, are there any other questions?
Chair.
For Mr. Nazarko? Go ahead.
I do.
Commissioner Ivey.
Are these grant amounts money that's already awarded or money waiting to be awarded?
This is money that has been awarded and has been spent.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Has been spent,
Yes.
okay.
Through the chair, I just have a couple questions
Go ahead,
about the grants.
Commissioner.
Does DPD apply for the grants themselves, or does the Public Safety Foundation apply for those? What's that process?
My understanding is that most of the grants, DPD itself applies, and the city has a Office of Grants at KMAC as well that works closely with DPD grants. If foundation applies and receives any grants, that's a separate entity from the city and is not represented on these financial reports.
Interesting, thank you. And then for the non-personnel expenditure grant funds, when DPD spends that, does DPD still go through city procurement, just like they would for the general fund? So is DPD still subject to like the CIOGS process and everything if they use these funds for some type of surveillance technology?
Through the chair, as a matter of fact, the short answer is yes, but on the grant situation is a little bit more rigid and a little bit more involved and a little bit more documentation needed because whomever gave us the grant is asking for more documentation than if we had to spend general fund money.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Bowman.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if this is the right time, but just to kind of keep up with things. And I didn't see any mention of it here. I'm interested in what part of budget is be set aside for a specific number of employees within the chief investigator's office. And the reason I bring that up is because we do have a situation where currently we have some investigators that are not considered permanent employees, but they're really necessary to help us keep up with the complaints. And I just want to make sure that when we get to that part of the budget that we are setting aside money to hopefully have these people become permanent.
Madam Chair.
Through the chair, that is a separate budget, and our fiscal manager, Drew Freeze, handled the BOPC budget on our end, and I think it was just recently presented to the board, right? Yep, go ahead, Chief Investigator.
Go ahead.
Through the chair, I just want to make sure that we're clear that all of our employees are permanent employees.
Yes.
That we don't have any temporary employees. However, there are some employees that are being paid out of temporary funds, but all of them are permanent employees.
Okay.
Yes.
But it is a separate budget. We have our own budget. This is the DPD budget
Okay.
that he's presenting right now. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions for Mr. Nazarko? All right, hearing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And next, we have a presentation by Human Resources, Director Katrina Patillo.
Good afternoon, through the chair.
Good
I'll
afternoon.
be presenting the Human Resource Bureau report for the month of December. You all should have the documentation in your binder. So for the department was filled at 96%. For sworn, we were filled at 97%. We had 79 vacancies in December, and of those 79 vacancies, we had a total of 42 for police officers. So basically, candidates going to be police officers, 42 vacancies. For civilians, and we were 3% vacant rate. For civilian professional staff, we had filled at 92%, 68 vacancies. For sworn recruiting, beginning of the fiscal year, July 1st through December 31st, we had a total of 2,590 applicants. 864 were in processing. We had a total of 1,425 that was archived, 220 that had been hired, 291 that was temporarily disqualified. Permanently disqualified was 205, and awaiting MCOS testing was 251. For DPD MCOS testing, written and physical agility, for schedule, we had a total of 122. For written, 68 appeared, 44 passed, that was a 65% passing rate, 24 failed, 35% failure rate, with 54 no-shows. For the physical agility test, we had a total of 138 scheduled, 84 appeared, 38 passed, 45% passing rate, 46 failures, 55% failure rate, with a total of 54 no-shows. For hires, we had a total of 20, 10 sworn and 10 civilian professional staff. For the breakout for the Detroit residency information, for total sworn, Detroit, we had a total of 598 Detroiters. For civilian professional staff, 399, and police assistants, 12. For non-Detroiters, total of 2,000 for sworn, 404 for civilian professional staff, and 10 for police assistant. Of those numbers, for civilian new hires professional staff, Detroit residents was 8, and for sworn new hires, Detroit residents was 2. We had 1 student intern that was still with us at the time. For attrition, we had a total of 41, 27 sworn, 14 professional staff. For the leave of absence restricted duty, for FMLA continuous, we had a total of sworn, 20 for sworn, 3 for civilian professional staff. For FMLA intermediate, we had a total of 103 for sworn, 80 for civilian professional staff. Paid parental leave, total of 11 for sworn, 1 civilian professional staff. Medical leave, 1 civilian professional staff. Military leave, 11 for sworn. Restricted status, we had 67 for sworn, 11 for civilian professional staff. Disabled, 30 for sworn, 3 for civilian professional staff. And in the sick category, 27 sworn, 9 for civilian professional staff. For a total of suspensions, we had a total of 26, and they were all police officers, the rank of PO. For monthly separations, we had a total of 27. That was a total of 20 for PO, 2 for investigator, 2 for sergeants, 2 for detective, 1 for captain. And for our drop program, we had a total of 463. Also on last Monday, we had a partnership orientation with Wayne State Criminal Justice Department. We partnered with them, so for their juniors and seniors that are in their cohort class, criminal justice class, we started an internship program with them. We have 15 students that are participating from January till April. They're going to be interning throughout our departments, where they have to spend up to 10 hours with our departments. So this is the first iteration that we're doing with Wayne State as their course for criminal justice. And so they were all juniors and seniors, so we were happy to have them. The next academy class is going to graduate February 20th. As of right now, it's 26 students, and the next academy class orientation is going to start, and it's going to be tomorrow, approximately over 30 students. Pending any questions, that concludes my presentation.
Are there any questions? I have a couple. Just really quickly, on the civilians position vacancies, there's 68. Can you give us an idea of the type of positions we're talking about?
Some of the
civilians, yeah.
Correct. Some of them are the 911 operators.
Okay.
It could be our social workers. We have a few of those. Also, actually, I have the list for that week. I can just run down some of the titles for you. Administrative assistants, administrative specialists, some of the clerks, communication specialists, those are videographers, some crime intels, detention facility officers, 911 operators, some of the administrative positions, garage attendants, human resource assistant 3, some of the intel specialists, project managers, some of the promotable statuses for like 911 and for the detention facility, social workers, telecommunications operator, traffic control, vehicle operator, and virtual patrol.
And I ask that because I think all of us should be aware of some of these vacancies. It's not just police officers. You know, there are a lot of positions or opportunities within the DPD that we could probably help recruit people for. So thank you for that. Commissioner Watts?
Yes,
And
I
then
have
Commissioner
a quick
Woods?
question related to that. What are some of your recruitment efforts you're doing to try to fill some of the vacancies?
So we do outreach. Basically, we work with the high schools, we work with colleges, we go into the communities. Downtown Partnership, we work with them. We get invited to several different opportunities. We recruit through some of the military, some of the athletic organizations. So we are in-state, out-of-state. We do quite a few career fairs. We have our own, which is considered a one-stop shop recruitment fair. We try to do that quarterly, whereas we complete most of the hiring process in one day. So those are some of the tactics. We also have marketing and advertisement and media. We have billboards. We do social media, paid and unpaid. We work with our internal DPD media staff as well as external media staff.
Thank you for that. Through the chair, I was going to say that's a great idea. We would love to partner because everyone's looking for a job. These are civilian jobs to help fill those positions. So any information and we can gauge from you will be helpful to help that effort.
And I would just say, too, you know, I work for Sur Metro, which is a workforce agency, and the DPD is always, always present at our career fairs, our job fairs, our whatever, college fairs, whatever we have, they're always present. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, Commissioner Woods, and then Commissioner Ivey.
I'm a former SER, Sir participant, and they do great work over there.
Thank you,
Great work.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, my question is, I see a number of officers resign under criminal charges, well, at least one, and then some resign under investigation. When this occur, can you inform the board sua sponte so that we could be made aware and instead of just reading the report, that we want to be made aware in real time when that happens?
As far as the resignation under?
Yes, so that we can be abreast of that, just in case something we need to look into as it relates to that, okay?
Okay.
And great job as always. You've been doing a phenomenal job, and appreciate the percentages there, you know. And I encourage the newer commissioners to utilize her talents in your districts and stuff, because I go there everywhere and see her.
Right. Commissioner Carter, did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, through the chair. I see that over half of the physical agility participants failed. I just want to know if you're still doing the fit or what?
Yes, ma'am, we are. So we do still have our physical fit camp where the members, the candidates, if they fail the physical agility test, they can enroll into that program, and our instructors work with them for nutrition and physical fitness, and when they're ready to retake the test, they can retake the test.
Okay, so how long have you been doing that?
At least we brought it back about 2 years ago, and we've seen great success from that program.
Are the participants paid, or is it just voluntary?
They are not paid. It is volunteer.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Then just real quick, one last question. I noticed out of 27 or 28 separations, people that have left, that 7 or 8 went to other police departments. Is that decreasing? It seems to me like that number is decreasing. Is it?
So for the year, it was approximately a total of 41.
Okay.
We've had quite a few. The leading agency has been federal government. So that's where the leading agency is.
But are you seeing a decrease in that number now, or is it pretty well?
Compared to last year, it was an increase.
It was an increase? Okay.
This year compared to last year.
Okay. When you say this year, is it July through June?
The calendar year, so
oh,
January
calendar.
to December of 2024, January of 2023 to December was less than January 1st, 2024 to December was less than 2025, because we're in 2026.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Thank you so much for your report. Appreciate it. Next, we have, sorry, give me 1 second. The report from the Madam Secretary.
Through the chair, the report for today, Commissioners, under your tab 7, there should be the listed items that you should, you notice a number of reports. There's also the Personnel and Training Committee Memorandum, highlights from the committee meeting that was held this past Tuesday. Also, I would like to note that you pay special attention to the document for your information on the left flap of your binder, a request to the chief's office. The announcements for today are as follows. The next board meeting of the commissioners will be next Thursday, January 29th, 3 p.m. here at Public Safety Headquarters. The February community meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 12th, 6:30 p.m., and it will be held in the 11th Precinct, and the actual location will be announced very soon. That would end the report for today, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Under unfinished business, we have a closed session pursuant to Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15268A, the request of Director Katrina Patillo to discuss employment evaluation. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So move. Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Woods, seconded by Commissioner Jones. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. 3-minute recess. I'd like to return to open session and call the meeting to order. May I please have a roll call?
Commissioner DeWalsh?
Present.
Commissioner Woods?
Present.
Commissioner Bowman? Commissioner Camille?
Present.
Commissioner Carter? Commissioner Ivy?
Present.
Commissioner Jones?
Present.
Commissioner Watts?
Here.
Commissioner Williams?
Present.
9 present, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do we have to go around and introduce the staff? No, not at this time. Okay. So, Board, we have three motions that I would like for you to consider. I'm going to go ahead and pass it to the Personnel Committee Chair.
By the direction of the Personnel and Training Committee, I move that the board accept the proposed new salary range of $112,628 to $171,906 for the Director of Police Personnel as recommended by the City of Detroit Human Resource Classification and Compensation Team.
A second.
Okay, a motion has been made by Commissioner Woods, seconded by Commissioner...
You don't need a second.
Oh, we don't need a second. Okay. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
By direction of the Personnel and Training Committee, I move to adopt the board accept the recommendation of Chief of Police Todd A. Bettison for a pay increase for Personnel Director Katrina Patillo from $149,815 to $163,000, which is within the range of $112,628 to $171,906.
Okay, the motion has been made by Commissioner Woods. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you.
And by the direction of the Personnel and Training Committee, I move that 2 vacant senior investigative positions within BOPC OCI be posted for OCI internal candidates only and be posted for a period of 7 days.
The motion has been made. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Is there any new business to come before this board, Commissioners?
Yes, Chair Member, Chairperson Dwelsh. I'm moving to establish an ad hoc union contract committee, and I can speak to the motion if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay. We've had cases where the contract, the collective bargaining agreement with the City of Detroit and the Detroit Police Officers Association and with the Lieutenant Sergeants Association, where there had been conflicts between the city charter and the agreement. And there is a new agreement coming up this year, at the end of this year, and the negotiations will be ongoing shortly. I would believe that the BOPC needs to be closely involved with that process and to be monitoring it carefully and having input to it in order to make sure that we do not have any conflicts between the city charter and the labor agreement moving forward.
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
Okay, a motion has been made by Commissioner Bowman and seconded by Commissioner Camille. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Woods. Corporation Counsel first and then Commissioner.
Madam Chair, this is the first I'm hearing about that. May I suggest, just to be sure that the board has a complete opportunity to evaluate the suggestion made by, the motion offered up by Commissioner Bowman and seconded by Commissioner Peel, that it be sent to personnel, so that, because actually the law department would want very much to make sure that this was not some kind of interference with the bargaining process, and to define clearly the role that the BOPC would play. And so rather than hurry it along and do something in a way where it would appear there'd be confrontational, if it went to personnel, then we could take a look at it, have them evaluate it, and then come back to the board for a full and complete discussion.
Commissioner Woods.
Yep, I tend to agree to that, so that we can fully exhaust it, get all the legal ramifications, if any, and to be able to discuss it and exhaust this issue. Happy to take that up with your presence and your guidance in there, Commissioner Bowman, if you have the proper guidance and legal precedent for us to be able to engage on that level. And I do agree that that we need to be thoroughly focused and present, as much as the law will allow us to, as it relates to the new collective bargaining agreement.
Madam Chair, discussion, please. To my understanding, the intent of the committee is for a committee of commissioners to get together and analyze the current contracts and come up with a set of recommendations for changes that the board would like to see in the upcoming negotiations.
Can I just point out, Madam Chair, that the Board of Police Commissioners is not the employer of the Detroit police officers.
Right.
You are an advisory entity representing the people of the city of Detroit. You are not the employer. So the National Labor Relations Act is going to dictate how the negotiations are to occur. And so all I'm asking for is that we look at this carefully so that we don't have the Board of Police Commissioners attempting to perform a function that they are not authorized by law to perform, and that they do exactly what the charter says that they are authorized to do.
So through the chair,
Commissioner Carter.
my suggestion was going to be to refer it to Corporation Counsel, because in the past, we've been told that we have no legal standing. So I'm okay with it going to the Personnel and Training Committee so that we can get a better understanding of what our legal obligation is. Thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead, Commissioner Bowman.
Yeah, I fully support the Board of Police Commissioners doing what the charter says. We have a problem, though, where one part of the city government, at least in the past, has effectively worked against the charter, the very charter that gives them the authority that they had to make those negotiations, by working workarounds through a contract process in order to usurp the authority that the Board of Police Commissioners has. Our standing exists in the fact that our authority has been usurped by a labor agreement made by people hired under the contract. You're interrupting.
Up out of thin air. You don't have that authority. Now, we can produce yet again, and will, a full description on what the authority of the Board of Police Commissioners is. But it isn't. But Mr. Bowman, clearly,
we have the authority, for instance, and I'll give a specific example to be the final word on promotions. That promotions must be approved by the Board of Police Commissioners. That authority was usurped. In one case, for instance, we had commissioners unanimously vote against the promotion of Corporal Dwayne Jones to the position of lieutenant. Nonetheless, he got promoted because of the labor agreement. There is a problem with the contract being used to usurp the proper authority that the Board of Police Commissioner absolutely does have under the charter.
Just
and
because
people
you
have
say
no
it
business.
loudly and with force doesn't make it true. We will produce an opinion that will, in fact, outline what the duties and responsibilities are. But let's not create a confusion where really none exists. We will look at it yet again and be sure that what the board does is appropriate to the issue in front of us. And it is not to insert themselves in the middle of labor negotiations between the city of Detroit and the police department. The function just simply is not there in terms of how that, and to the degree, and you all know this, to the degree that the charter violates state law or violates federal law, then the charter is in third place. It's not, you can't make it more than it is. But again, the bottom line is we'll take a look at it and see what the result will be. But I don't think that what you're suggesting is appropriate. And
had the negotiating team cleared with the Corporation Council before they decided to go and put language in so that they could violate the charter into labor agreements?
They did not.
Okay, then I don't know why we're held to a different standard.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I appreciate Corporation Counsel providing a legal opinion and happy to read that. I would just ask that it also include an analysis of the ability for the board to provide a list of concerns, even if it's not to insert and actually do the negotiating, but to indicate, here are the challenges that we have with fulfilling our oversight duty because of certain things in the labor language, so that leaders in the city can consider those things. I would like that to be included.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So are you amending the motion?
The motion that I seconded was just to form a committee of commissioners to sit down and explore, do the analysis of the contract compared to our responsibilities. It was just to form a committee.
Yeah.
Really gone into a lot of discussion just to form a committee.
Friendly amendment, and I think that we can achieve what you're looking for if it's referred back to the personnel training committee, or let's put it together and develop any and everything that you're saying in that way, and get the legal opinion and move forward.
So what's being referred to the personnel and I'm confused about what's being referred to personnel and training.
The matter at hand.
The establishment of a new committee.
The establishment of a new committee.
Point of order, under Roberts, is there such a thing as committees reviewing whether or not other committees should be established?
Yeah, if I might, I wish the parliamentarian was here. What I would do, Madam Chair, in this is vote on the motion that has been put forward by Commissioner Bowman and seconded by Commissioner Camille. If it is voted down, then I would suggest that someone then make a motion to refer the issue in general back to the Personnel and Training Committee, and then we will deliver to and then.
So in other words, an ad hoc committee is not necessary? We would refer it back to the
Board has to make
personnel.
that decision, Madam
Well,
Chair.
I'm just trying to understand. Okay, I'm going to call for the question. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oppose. Nay.
Nay.
Need a roll call.
Do we need a roll call?
Yep.
Okay, could we get a roll call?
Are we, no disrespect, but are we clear on what the motion was? Because we
Yes.
just need it for minutes.
I can
Okay,
restate.
we'll review the tape. So I will roll call.
I think it's worth restating the motion so that everyone that votes understands what they're voting on.
Thank you.
Okay, I had spoke to the motion, and that was more complicated. The motion itself was only to establish an ad hoc union contract committee. That's it, full words.
Okay,
Commissioner Woods?
No.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yay.
Commissioner Camille?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter? No. Commissioner Carter? No. Commissioner Ivy?
Yay.
Commissioner Jones?
No.
Commissioner Watts?
No.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWash?
no.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 yay votes and 1, 2, 5 no votes.
Okay, the motion failed. And now, that's it.
Motion to refer this matter to Personnel Training Committee.
A motion has been made to refer to the Personnel Training Committee by Commissioner Woods, seconded by Commissioner Carter.
Discussion?
If I may,
Yes?
may we have in detail exactly what we're referring to?
The formation of an ad hoc committee, or not the formation, but to discuss the contracts? I mean, that's
Yeah,
your motion.
Yeah. To be able to discuss the collective bargaining agreement.
All agreements or just, because as you know, we have more than one.
With the collective for DPD.
Okay, all of the labor contracts for DPD?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it
Point of
clear?
information.
Yes.
Hopefully this is handy. Can, just for my information, what's the description of the BOPC Personnel and Training Committee? What is the description of that committee and responsibilities of it, please?
You have it in your.
And while they're looking, Madam Chair, do you have an update on the status of the new committee assignments?
No, that's something Madam Secretary can answer as well.
If, to the chair, through the chair, we have not finalized the report, the update for Madam Chair, because we have not received responses from all commissioners as of this moment.
But we're trying to do that
We are
by tomorrow.
endeavoring to hopefully do that between now and early tomorrow, so that staff can give an update, so that she can move forward.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The personnel and training, as is noted, reviews and makes recommendations for implementation of personnel matters, reviews and acts on appeals, discipline appeals for BOPC staff, and can make annual and semi-annual training activities.
Through the chair, it sounds like the scope of our Personnel and Training Committee is BOPC staff, not DPD staff.
Well,
Is that not true?
if I may, Madam Chair, since my tenure, it has included all personnel, DPD personnel, oversight when it comes to appeals, promotions, et cetera, together with BOPC staff. I'm not making a determination, I'm just saying during my tenure,
Thank you for the clarification.
what has procedurally occurred.
Thank you. The motion has passed, I mean, to refer it back, correct?
Well, you got to call the
Oh,
question.
I have to call for, this is discussion. Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Is there any new business to come before, or that was new business? Any
Yes.
other new business?
Yes.
Commissioner Woods?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to communicate to the department or direct, the police chief to make sure that we have security that is that's the same part as Detroit City Council, that we have coverage based upon a lot of disruptions that happens in the meetings, a lot of threats that had occurred and things of that nature. So I want to make sure that we have the same type of protections as City Council. So that's my motion.
I will support it, Madam Chair.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Woods, seconded by,
I'm sorry.
seconded by Commissioner Woods, Jones. It's getting late. Discussion, is there any discussion?
Yeah, the request for information. What protections does the city council have that we don't have that you're referring to?
As it relates to people coming up to us, being threatening, people about to fight, physically fight in these meetings, and all of the threats, and being able to make sure that we are secure in our meetings.
I guess I'm not seeing that we aren't, and so I'm just wondering what would change.
It'll be just like the function that happens over in City Council. We will have that type of order in our meetings. Our interpreters cannot do their jobs the other week because of the screaming and the yelling and things of that nature. We have to be able to serve the citizens of the city of Detroit and get the information to the citizens, and we need to make sure that we are secured as a body as well. There's a lot of people who have made a number of threats and we deserve to be protected and secured.
And I think to answer your question, the difference is that at City Council, there are officers assigned, and they're at the door. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of officers that come to our meeting.
So in other words, we don't have someone serving the role of, I guess, sergeant at arms?
No, we don't.
Yes, so that's
the difference.
Yes.
Through the chair, I think that it would be a budgeting issue. And so I think that we need to put it in the budget if that's what we are
Requesting.
requesting. And I know that, I'm pretty sure that City Council budgets all the security that they have. So I think that it would be.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Secretary?
I would ask that be a consideration as with the committee meetings. As you notice, as the board assembles in the Woodward Room, security. So I would defer to DC Bliss when DPD versus security. So I just wanted to raise that point, that during committee meetings, as well as during this meeting, because of being earlier than the 5 o'clock, security has normally, if I can use that word, been the entity to provide, quote unquote, security for audiences, participants, et cetera.
Through the chair, I would like for us to call the question and allow the chief of police to be able to answer to this. And if that be the case, then we can at least we down that road, because at this particular point, it's very, very chaotic, and at times, you know, and we deserve the protections like anyone else. We're not talking about a ton of folks or whatever. You know, folks are here anyway, but, you know, so I ask that you call the question.
Through the chair, I'd like to amend the motion. Instead of asking DPD to provide the security, ask the chief of police to provide us with a proposal for us to vote on for what that security looks like, so that we know what we're saying yes to.
Second?
Madam Chair.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to point out the deputy chief.
Okay, do we have two motions on the floor right now, or do we have one that's been amended?
They asked for him. He said he
And it was seconded.
And there was
Yeah,
second.
and I would be gladly to pull back my motion and support their motion.
Okay.
You know, so
all right.
I'm open to that.
Now we're at discussion, DC?
Through the chair, just a point of clarity, because during the discussion, I'm hearing two different things. So are you asking for security during the meeting, or are you asking for executive protection?
During our meetings.
Okay, so you would like an officer to be, so if there is any type of action to be taken, we would have a police officer here, not executive protection.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Motion has been made and, well, actually amended.
Yeah.
To receive a proposal from the chief regarding security for our meetings, during our meetings. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Oh,
Aye.
wait, Commissioner,
Point of order?
go ahead.
Okay, I'm just double checking. I believe that Commissioner Camille made what amounts to a amendment by substitution. And while Commissioner Woods said he would pull his back and let that be replaced, it no longer belongs to him. I believe after it's seconded, it belongs to the body. So I believe we would be voting first on a motion to amend by substitution Commissioner Woods' original motion, and then we'd be voting on that motion again at a final vote.
Okay.
Madam Chair, can we just repeat his motion, they motion, anybody motion?
I withdrew.
Before I vote.
I withdrew my motion. I withdrew mine.
So if he withdraws his motion, then we don't have to vote on it.
Just believe a seconded motion belongs to the body.
Yes, I get what you're saying
I'm
now.
sorry.
Yeah, because it had been seconded, it don't belong to me anymore.
Right.
Right, so good point.
Okay. So now we have a motion to amend the motion that you made, that we're voting on. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Now we have the amended motion, which is to ask the chief to propose a security plan for our meetings. Now, is there any discussion? And it has been
I seconded it, yeah.
made by Commissioner Camille and seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Is there any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Support.
Have a great evening, everyone.